Now, if you've caught on to any of the subtle things that I've pointed out that happen all the time, I want to tell you another one. Because during the time where I was trying to figure myself out and I was losing my ego, I really liked Explosion Tacky chips. They're called Tacky. And there's the popular brand called Tacky Fuego. Well, everyone I know in my family, instead of saying Tacky Fajita or Tacky Wild or give me some Wild Tackies or whatever they say, give me some Fuegos. You got any more Fuegos? And they'll be like, well, I'm out of Fuego, but I have guacamole. Like, well, I mean those, the guacamole flavored Fuegos. I'm like, well, they're not guacamole Fuegos. Fuego's the name of the flavor. And they're like, oh, okay. And the next time I'm like, hey, you got any of them guacamole Fuegos? You got any of them Fuego guacamoles? And I'm like, it's not guacamole Fuego. It's not. It's just guacamole. So even my dad and my kids, they'd always be like, oh, my favorite Fuegos are the Wild, or my favorite Fuegos are the whatever. Well, red and blue, okay? I am down to earth, and I'm supposed to speak. Red and blue also make purple, which is the divine color, okay? Red and blue, red is the color of Fuego, and we've had Fuego for a long time in a purple bag, okay? Well, they also all of a sudden made a new flavor, which is called Blue Heat, which is the same exact flavor as Fuego, because all my kids and my dad and myself would say Fuego this, and I would say Tacky Fuego Explosions, or Tacky Explosions, or Fuego Explosions, and I would just accidentally say it because my parents had said it so much, and it echoes in time. And because I've had this divine realization, it sounds really silly, I had a divine realization, and during the time that I was developing a new ego and shedding my ego, just learning how to use Dan as a vehicle to express my spirit, I really liked Explosions, and that was the years ago when I was going through the difficulty. And that's when I lost my kids, because I love my kids so much it went opposite. And that's when Fuego disappeared, because it was opposite. So now that I'm getting aligned, the things that I want are happening properly. So my kids, myself, my dad, my parents, my friends, and everyone I know that wants Fuegos would say, hey, you got any of them Fuegos? They wouldn't say Tacky Fuegos or Tacky whatever, they just say Fuego. All those different flavors of Fuegos. Well, now the only flavor of Fuegos, well, Tackies, one is Fuego, one is Blue Heat, which is just blue, the same flavor, and the other one is they made chips that are the same Fuego flavor. So if you don't see how this is just echoing out through time, there's three things right there. There's red, there's blue, and there's purple. That is grounded, vocalizing, and mental, like spiritual divine. You know, it's not trying to be stupid or silly, but it's playing out everywhere in my life, everywhere there is, everywhere I go. And people, today is supposed to be my Dan's birthday, you know, and I go into Walmart and everyone's just nice, and to two guys waiting with their hand jacks to unload the truck from Walmart that usually sit there and look unhappy, one with glasses and a scruffy beard, the other one with long sort of frizzly hair, with it's dyed pink, and he's a dude, sort of heavy, and has like a frizzy hair ponytail. So like they're opposites of each other. One's like sort of looks like scruffy and like the work hard guy, and the other one sort of looks like sort of like gay and like pink hair and whatever. And I talked to them both, and they were both laughing, and it was just so cool. Like I was just so open, and they were just receptive, and I heard them both talk for the first time in like 3 years, literally. So everything is just happening the way I project it with my mind. And I know if I say this person will respond. And if I can see a person looking sad, I'll try to say something like, hey, what's wrong? You know, try to think about the fact that everything is good and no reason to be unhappy. And like another thing in my mind said, banana. Banana is an antibody for Brian A, Brianna, and Dan A. So like, that makes complete sense to me. It's math. So like, I've been making sure I have bananas all the time. And we used to call Brianna banana. And I just found out that Brian likes bananas. Although Brian doesn't like any fruits and vegetables, but he likes bananas. I mean, it's silly, but it's all right there. It's all right there. And it's playing throughout the physical world, the chemical world, the tree world. Everywhere I go, I hear the trees. But they're not like, yo, Dan, what's up? It's just, I feel them. I feel their energies. Just like when you're with a person in the room that you know well. And when they're sad, you know they're sad. When they're happy, you know they're happy. Trees are either, like, it's just one or the other. They're not like, hey, man, I really wish I could have ice cream. They don't have that stuff. They have a very simple life, but it's very complex in the mineral and the plant world. And I understand it. So I'm actually supposed to help people do the right thing. And if they don't believe me, that's their fault, because they're distorted. I mean, honestly, they're all distorted. They believe what they believe, and that's happening, and it's coming true for them. Which also brought up the fact that, you know, I could mathematically show the equation of how meat isn't good for you. But that if I did that, the people that own meat companies would want to come after me after they lost their livelihood, all their money. If people stopped eating meat, then they lose their livelihood. But then they could also start making healthy food and not worry about money and not overproducing food that people don't need. And then they could also see that when they see I show them the math equation, that they themselves don't want meat in their bodies, because I'll show them how the dead meat is just killing you slower. I mean, you're still living because you're putting other things in there. There's water. Even when you're drinking pop, there's some kind of things that aren't dead materials. There is water in there. So you are making it by. But the air and the stuff and the thoughts actually help that too. Plus, when you're not conscious, you don't know. You just do everything that the rules say. If it's written on the calorie box, and if it says that if you do this, you're going to get this, it depends on how conscious you are. Those will just happen. And when you become conscious and you train your body to understand that you can do it, not somebody else, the words that are written are the ones that will happen to you until you write new words in your mental mind. That's the truth. So until next time, peace.